right, we are getting started with chapter 10. This is one of my favorite chapters. We're going to learn about counting techniques. And a lot of times when people first hear that topic, it's a little bit questionable. Like, well, how hard is it to count things, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. But here, let me pose some questions to you that might give you some more insight into the types of things we're going to look at in this chapter. So asking something like, why is it so hard to win the lottery? Or why is it really hard to just guess the lock on a combination? Like one of those spinny combination locks like you had in your high school. Why can't you just open it by guessing the code? And I mean, your answers would probably be pretty similar, where you would say, because there's so many possibilities, right? There's so many ways to pick lottery numbers that the chances of you picking the right one are very small. Same with, there's so many different codes that you could pick on your combination lock. So what we're going to hone in on this type of chapter is, well, we're not just going to say, leave it at, well, yeah, there's a lot of ways to do it. We're going to ask, well, how many ways are there? So that's basically the types of questions that we're always going to answer in this counting chapter, is these how many questions. How many ways can this thing happen? How many possibilities are for this situation? So it turns out that if you think about those two examples, right, to try and answer that, like how many lottery numbers are possible to pick? That's a really hard question. That's not something that you can just write out all of the possibilities and say, all right, here's 1, 2, 3. Here's a first possibility, second possibility, third possibility. You're going to run out of time trying to do that. So we need to learn some techniques. So in this section, we're going to really see this idea that counting is not always a simple problem, right? Like these questions, but it can be extremely important and useful. So what we're going to learn is we're going to learn some tools and some techniques for how to count different situations. So we're going to learn some broad tools, and then we're going to have to look at a question and figure out which tools to apply when, and then we're going to be able to answer those how many questions. So that's where we're going. We're going to jump in then with section 1, and we're going to learn a first counting technique.